Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with CPO's box set reissue and collection of Aulis, Sallinen chamber works and symphonies and other orchestral pieces. This is a terrific box. You really should get this. I enjoy Sallinen's music very much. He was born in 1925, 35, pardon me. Yes, 35. So he's getting up there. He's been retired for a while, as far as I know. He was living for most of his later career in France. He had, his reputation is as a composer of operas. He's written 7 or 8 of those. And the 2 most famous were the first 2, The Horseman and The Red Line. And when they were performed by the Finnish National Opera, they really established Finnish National Opera. The other great work from that period was Joonas Kokkonen's opera, The Last Temptations. And productions of those operas, and I remember they came to New York and did a couple of them, were really kind of a revelation. Now, Sallinen was one of those composers who began life as a dodecaphonist, very briefly, and then he gave it up and started working in basically his own style. He has a very distinctive voice based on triadic harmony up to a point, and tone cluster things, and block-like construction. People who like their Messiaen will be a little bit familiar with that. As a symphonist, he wrote 8 symphonies. Sometimes I find his construction, a little bit thin. This alternation of, sort of motivic material and various little blocks of sound. But a lot of it is really captivating, and his feeling for sonority was tremendous. That went a long way with, as an opera composer. And a lot of his orchestral music is related to his operatic output. So let's just go through this very quickly, and we'll see what's on here, and we'll take it from there. So disc number 1, you know what, I can do it. You have a very good booklet, by the way. CPO gives you all the full original notes, and there's a lovely note by Sallinen himself, which is really fun. He basically says he doesn't remember anything he ever wrote, so he always starts afresh when he writes something new, something like that. It's really kind of cute. Anyway, we have a solemn overture, which was originally to be based on King Lear. So there it is. It is based on King Lear, his opera. Symphony number 1, Chorale, and Symphony number 7. Now, the first symphony and chorale come from about the same time. They are wonderful, evocative works, interestingly scored. Chorale is for winds and percussion. It's really, you hear that unique voice right away, right from the outset. Symphony number 7 was based on a ballet on Lord of the Rings that never happened. And so he reused the material. It was originally subtitled something like Gandalf Dances or something like that. It's beautiful. It's a lovely work. It really is. Symphonies 2 and 4, the Horn Concerto, and Mauermusik. Now, if you've gotten into Sallinen listening to Disc 1, I don't need to talk about the other symphonies in detail, other than to say that they basically add to what we already know about him. His personal style, once he found it, which he did early on, is what he stuck with, essentially. Mauermusik however, is one of those transitional works from his dodecaphonic period, and it's a requiem piece in memory of someone who was shot trying to get through the Berlin Wall back in the days of the Cold War. A very, very powerful but very stark piece of writing. Then we've got on disc 3, Symphonies 3 and 5, which are lovely. I mean, really lovely and powerful works in places. Number 5, I think, particularly. Symphony number 6, which is subtitled Washington Mosaics, if I'm not mistaken. And his cello concerto, which is a lovely work. Sallinen has a great feel for the cello. Most of his chamber work includes cello, or a lot of it does. It's his favorite stringed instrument and solo instrument. And Czech composers tend to write really good cello concertos. I mean, Kokkonen's is gorgeous, and really some very good ones. Then we have, Symphony number 8, which is a single movement, sort of, Sibelius 7 kind of piece. That's typically evocative, but the orchestral pieces here are wonderful. Shadows. Shadows is based on the opera The King Goes Forth to France, and it is a gorgeous orchestral piece. It's just wonderfully evocative and atmospheric with a beautiful tune in the middle of it. His violin concerto, which is, I think, a very, very good piece in a very interesting form. It's got like a big, huge, long first movement and a really peppy finale. And the Palace Rhapsody, which is another piece based on one of his operas. Then we have a piece called Barabbas Dialogues. This is a strange work. It's a song cycle / oratorio / thing for chamber ensemble, narrator, and a bunch of soloists. And it's got texts by from the Bible in Finnish, and Sallinen himself, and Finnish people, and it's a very strange and curiously compelling piece. One of the major instruments in the chamber ensemble is an accordion. Sallinen liked the accordion, so that's intriguing. And then we've got a couple discs of chamber music, pieces simply called Chamber Music 3, 4, and 5. They're actually written for chamber orchestra, some of these pieces. The Introduction and Tango Overture, the Elegy for Sebastian Knight, his cello sonata from A Swan Song, and his piano trio. And that wraps it up. Now, most of the orchestral performances are conducted by Ari Rasilainen, the Norrköping Symphony Orchestra, and the Deutsche Staatsphilharmonie Rhineland-Pfalz. The chamber stuff is done by the Virtuosi di Kuchmo. I had the privilege to attend the Kuchmo Chamber Music Festival a few decades back. It was a lot of fun, with excellent soloists, including Esa Tapani horn, Jan Erik Gustafsson cello, and Jaakko Kuusisto violin. Let's see, Elina Vehele violin, Arto Noras cello, Ralf Gothóni is a pianist. He's a Sallinen specialist, kind of, and a wonderful pianist. This is a terrific set. It's 8 discs, beautifully packaged, excellently annotated, and a major contemporary voice. So give it a shot. I think you'll be happy if you did. Listen to a couple of the symphonies. Listen to the 1st, the 7th, the 5th, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the 4th, I think, is a little weaker, but just go for it and see what you think. Take care.